Hey, LCC friends and family. Lead Minister Brandon Bogue here with another midweek moment. Well, we made it. We're finally here. We are at the final word in our Buzzwords series. Pun very much intended. And I do promise that this is, in fact, the last one for this particular series. But just because we're going to talk about our last buzzword doesn't mean that we're going to hold back. Hopefully by now you know me better than that. It is absolutely impossible to go into any sort of a business meeting without hearing the word growth. Where are we growing as a company? What are the biggest growth points for our employees? Where are our biggest growth markets? What steps can we take in growing our brand? Business-minded people are always seemingly obsessed with the notion of growth. And a great deal of that mindset has seeped its way into the church as well. I had a ministry in a very, very small community several years back now. And it seemed like the only focal point that our leadership had was on numbers. They wanted to be the biggest church in that area, and they had a very specific number in mind that they were trying to reach. But for really several years, that church had been stuck at a number below that one, and had been kind of stuck there for a long time. And I remember very distinctly one of our elders saying that our focus needs to be on getting more and more people into our building, getting them to come to church with us. Thing of it is that when our senior minister and I went back and we looked at the church records and we looked at the population of the area, we learned that based on that population, about half of the county had gone through our church's baptistry. We had baptized literally half the county. And we were far from the only church in that area. There were 6 or 7 other churches in that immediate vicinity. But I can also tell you, we did not have half of the county showing up every single Sunday. Our emphasis always seemed to really be stuck on the same thing all the time. And that was evangelism. Now, before you start typing away in the comments or you start dialing up one of the elders saying that Brandon said he doesn't care about evangelism, in no way, shape, or form is that what I'm saying. What I am saying is that for this specific church in this specific town, we had made evangelism our primary focus, and we had baptized half of the county. So the question was really, why aren't we growing? Well, my theory that I had at that time, and frankly still haven't changed in the 10 plus years since, is that we as a church were so focused on growing the amount of people that we had completely cast aside the growth that really mattered. We were preaching the gospel to them, but we didn't have anything in mind for them after they got out of the baptistry. We were trying to grow the numbers of attenders. We were not looking to grow our people into spiritual maturity. See, the thing of it is that Jesus did not call us to fill stadiums full of people. He didn't call us to create consumers. He called us to make disciples, to pour into people who would then go and pour into others, because that is the model that he himself demonstrated. Yes, his preaching and his teaching and his healing would lead to thousands of people coming to see Jesus, but the majority of Jesus' time here on earth was really spent pouring into 12 different guys, and even then, only 11 of them really got it. But when he left, those 11 poured into more people, who poured into more people, who poured into more people, and on and on and on. The irony is that when the early church committed itself to growing people into spiritual maturity, the church itself grew at the single fastest rate it ever has. And that makes sense because the natural byproduct of disciples is more disciples. Yes, absolutely. The church should be invested in evangelism and leading as many people as we possibly can to the feet of Jesus. That is absolutely a priority within our church, and it needs to be, a centralized priority. But we also need to learn how to grow people spiritually, how to lead them into a spiritual maturity, how to usher them into discipleship. Because, as it turns out, spiritual maturity tends to lead to more people coming to know Jesus. So maybe we should be focusing on a different kind of growth. Well, since it was a 5 Wednesday month, that means that you had a whole extra week to be able to read our book of the month, Gods at War by Kyle Idleman. I certainly hope that you found the time to get through this particular book. As always, please feel free to drop a comment about what you liked about the book, maybe even what you didn't like about it. Let's see what we come up with there. But tell me what your thoughts were. Tell me what your favorite part of the book was. Any of that stuff. Again, if you have any books that you think I should read that you want me to check out, maybe that I haven't read yet already, by all means, drop that into the comments as well. I'd love to hear from you. And while we're at it, I really hope you enjoyed the Buzzwords series. We'll see you back here again next Wednesday for something totally different. That's not the Buzzword series. How about that? This has been your Midweek Moment. Take care of yourselves and each other.